Wow. Surprise, surprise. You can just see it's a recipe for disaster. Hello, I'm Ronnie. Let's talk about movies.
Italians love a good love story, and ours is for the ages.
Hi guys. Okay, so I've decided to try something new and to kind of like do a video log recording my immediate reactions just after watching, and I will continue this video with my thoughts. Let's get to it. Okay, so just finished episode 1 and I'm liking it. I've been seeing online that it's a true story. I need to read up on that. Exactly how much of a true story is a true story, because I know, there's like creative license and all that, but I want to know how much to like be surprised about. I guess it's a very common kind of thing that happens. You go to a new city or town or country and you have this plan, an idea of how your life is supposed to turn out, and then obviously things happen and surprise, surprise. So interesting. Okay, that's a sad one. Ends on a sad note. This girl meets this guy in Italy and somehow they manage to have long distance relationship for a couple months. He moves to the US. I'll try to stay away from spoilers, but just that homesickness of migration, very understated, especially for someone who's never had a big change like that. It's a lot to think about. It's a big thing, and yeah, that space just feeling really sad for them. Flashing back to the beginning of episode 1, I think the very first scene, and I just know something sad happens, so he either dies or they don't end up together. Either way, I can't really tell what's going to be, but yeah, it's taking on a sad look. First thoughts, it's just very emotional, honestly. The way the entire series is shaping up to be, like, you can just see it's a recipe for disaster. You get, like, you can just see, okay, and in my head I'm trying to think, what could have happened, what could have gone wrong. I already know that something big happens from how the entire series started, so I'm thinking it's either somebody dies, that's the worst thing, or he breaks up with her, or she breaks up with him. Doesn't seem like she's like the breaking up with him type, so I'm just like, okay, what could be the breaking point? Like, it just feels like dominoes, stacking up, and I'm just waiting for one thing that just tilted up. But yeah, let's keep watching. I knew it. I just knew it. This is what Nigerians will call village people. It's just when your breakthrough is about to happen and something just utterly terrible throws everything off balance, all of your plans out of the door. Yeah, so many emotions, all of the feels. I don't even know what to say. I kind of expected it. I kind of see already where it's going. Like, I already see where it's going. I don't know how it's going to happen, but I already see where it's going. It's just really sad to imagine. You kind of just, you're rooting for them, you're rooting for them, and then you get to midway of the storyline and it's just like, no. It's like Jack and Rose, you want them to end up together. And the iceberg happens. It's like I'm at that point where, okay, what you thought was going to be really bad didn't end up being really bad. So you just know another shoe is just about to drop, because it's that middle point where there seems to be a resolution, everything seems to be going all right, and then the final shoe drops. Something you weren't even thinking was going to happen suddenly happens, and you just know, yeah, this is not going to end off well. So this is a very intense episode. A lot of emotions ran high, but a lot of resolutions as well, which was nice to see. It was nice to see Amy get forceful for coming to herself. Just, I think it gets to a point with certain personalities. And looking at Amy, yeah, when we started, she was young, but at the same time, she didn't seem like a very forceful personality. She seemed like a very sweet girl. Just wants to be friends with everyone, wants to not offend. Deeply in love with her husband, and also like deeply respectful as well, because you can see from her relationship with her parents, and even her mom, that's kind of overbearing. But she gets to that point where she puts her foot down, and when it got to the moment where something was threatening to jeopardize her husband's sanity, she just put her foot down. There is a lot of things that you will allow or keep quiet on, but then when it comes to the point where you know what, no, I'm going to put my foot down, and you do. It was nice to see that emotions ran high for her, all of that pressure of caring for someone who's sick. That's the other side of sickness. Mostly it's focused on the person being sick, but at the same time, it's also happening to the people around them. And it's just interesting seeing all that emotions, especially for her being the primary caregiver, going through those emotions and the reality of it. But gosh, it's interesting to see what more is to come in this story. I'm almost dreading getting to the end. I'm not sure, and I really can't predict. I know it's a true story, so I can just look it up online, but I don't want to do that, and I'm avoiding spoilers. But yeah, very deeply impactful story. Wow. Episode 6 is a wow. I mean, I feel like it took me from 0 to 100. If it wasn't a true story, to be honest, like I'd just be like, come on now, come on. Can't these people catch a break? Like one thing after the other. And it's getting to that point where you're just like, okay, okay. Things are happening, things are working out. When is the other shoe going to drop again? These people are going to soon run out of shoes to drop. It's not funny, because this is actually real life. These are people's lives. That's what the most compelling part of it is. They're real people's lives, and sometimes truth can be more unbelievable than fiction. I'm not prepared for what's to come, but we move. I just knew it. I just knew it. I knew it. And yet, when it happened, it's so sad. But yeah, can we take a minute to talk about unconscious bias? Some of it conscious as well, but just that it's normal to be biased. Bias is life. If you're raised in a certain way with no exposure to certain things, you're going to think about other people who are different from you in a certain way based on how you were raised, as society and culture and all of those things. You're going to have that limited understanding. Bias is there, it exists. What happens is what you do as a result of that bias. Does your bias lead you to discriminate against people? Does your bias lead you to actually want to learn more and be respectful of people who are different from you? Most times, bias comes from a place that is negative, and it shouldn't be. We all have bias. We're all inclined to like something or to think a certain way about someone, and especially based on past experiences, whether our own or another person's, we are by default made to be cautious about things or people that we are not familiar with or that we don't know, and we react to them in a certain way. It's that reaction that is the problem. Is your reaction instinctively negative, or is your reaction positive, aiming to learn? Well, I just knew it. I just knew it was going to end in tears right from the very beginning. I could see it coming and I walked right into it. I feel like I've shed all my tears for Lino, but let's see how everything rounds up. Finally done. I'm going to take a moment and sit with it. It's a deeply moving story. The fact that it's a true story makes it even all the more compelling. It's a story about family, about love, about loss, mostly about family, and how family just it takes on this form. It's like human being coming together. You have all of these genes that get taken from who knows where. You can't tell what parts of your father or your mother you get. You can't tell what genes come together to make you look the way you look. You can't really determine. Yes, we know love is a choice. You choose who you love, but at the same time, time and chance happens to us all. Depends on where you are, depends on when you are, depends on who you meet, depends on the situation around you. If Amy hadn't been in Italy at that time that she was, she may not have met Lino. I can't fault anything about the telling of it, and the telling of it was superb because quite obviously it's a true story. You have to be true to the story. Maybe there were some fictional additions, I don't know. I'll probably read up a bit more. In general, it's just such an amazing, deeply moving human story, and it just makes you aware and just a lot more appreciative of life and family. Now family can look so beautiful and different, and how everything comes together. Yeah, it's a blessing. Right, so done it from scratch. Absolutely loved it. Definitely will recommend.